and ancestral territories of Indigenous people. The township recognizes all Indigenous peoples and honors their past, present, and futures. The township values and respects their cultural heritages and relationship to the land. So, first thing is the mayor's opening remarks. I was participated in the Grenville Flowering Match. That was held on, I forget the county road, anyway, up by Merrickville.
41?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Yeah.
41 is
Yeah.
that rodeo.
So, anyway, I came in last. Because I didn't go on the tractor, evidently, because of my knee, but anyway, I had a substitute. Anyway, and of course, Merrickville comes in first. Anyway, it was a good deal, the beautiful day, so that sort of thing. Next was I went to the 661 cadet inspection in Prescott, that's the Air Cadets. That was, I believe, last Wednesday night, and a little toned down from the past years because they didn't have the big gym, they had a smaller gym, but they still had a good crowd, about 30 cadets. That was good. As you know, you probably saw in the papers and that, Evonik is doing a $8 million upgrade. Actually $9 million, because the province threw in $1 million. So that's good for Evonik, especially after Invista was, announced their 23 million back in August. Things are looking up for those two companies. They're both doing well right now. And last Saturday, we had the Maitland Food Bank and the opening of the Maitland Food Bank, I should say, in the St. James Church. I call it the Sunday School, but it's actually the, I don't know what they call it, Ladies Auxiliary or Church Hall or whatever. So, anyway, it was a good day. So we're getting out there. And the food bank is improving and of course widening out within our township. So the first thing, approval of the agenda, moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Pate, be resolved that the agenda for October 15, 2024 be adopted. Does anyone have any additions, changes, anything? I see nothing. I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of minutes of previous meetings. And moved by Councillor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans, be resolved that council approve the minutes of the September 23rd, 2024 council meeting just distributed to all members. Does anybody have any notes or corrections or anything from the minutes? No? Call the question, all in favor? Carry. Next, we have disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Does anybody have anything to bring forward? See nothing? Any business arising from the minutes? Yeah, I see nothing. Delegations and presentations, I do not believe we have any, no. And it takes us down to correspondence and petitions. And first on the agenda is moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Pate, be resolved that council sponsor the RNJ Curling Bonspiel for a set amount of dollars from the 2024 budget. And I think we deferred that, if I remember correctly, because we wanted to get a little more information, the cost and that. So I'm gonna ask the CAO if he can enlighten us with.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So you are correct. So there was some more information that council wanted to gather before making a decision on a donation. So some of the discussion was about putting in a team based on what we've received. It's $260 to put in a team into the Bonspiel, which is on January 17th, 2025. So council could look at a different option as far as putting in a team that represents Augusta, could look at just providing a donation or doing both, but certainly at least wanted to provide council with the information. All monies raised will go to support the Connections program and the after school program at Stingers, which when R&J came here, that's kind of where they have their after school program and everything. So I'll leave that to council.
Just a question on the date. I think Rome was the weekend after.
Roma is the week after, the 21st to the 23rd or 4th or something. Yeah.
Okay, so members, comment?
Yeah, no, I think I'd be interested in being on a team and I wouldn't mind, paying my share for the team. That's, I think it's good to raise money for the kids and I think then if we do that, if we're paying our own way for the team, we can make the championship, make $100 donation. That would be my suggestion.
Anybody else?
I won't go.
No. I'll be perfect.
You could be doing the broom.
Maybe this night.
You can stick curl now. You don't have to get down in the hat.
Well, I don't even want to be on ice. So, yes,
Your worship, I am a curler and I'm willing to participate as well.
so as long as you think you can get a team together.
How
And I'm willing to pay my own way and everything as well, so,
many usually do you have on a team?
yeah, 4.
John,
Maybe 6
yes, John, you said you'd curl?
I would love to try. I would love to, yes.
No, this boy will not curl. Sorry. I will keep hydrated, but that's about it.
So we'll submit a team, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the, do we want to pay the whole amount of that or break it up?
Certainly up to council and how. If you're representing Augusta, you know.
$260.
Yeah.
Okay, members,
Well, I say we just do the whole thing.
okay, is everybody else, Brandon? Okay,
Sounds good.
so I'll put in 240,
260.
260.
Yep.
And I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried. Yeah.
Okay, why not?
Okay, next we have the CCBF support resolution. A move by Councilor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wines, be resolved, the council supports the resolution from the city of Quinte West to call on the federal government to provide a supplement to the allocations provided to municipalities on the Association of Municipalities of Ontario Canada Community Building Fund Agreement for 2024 to 2028 for the same amount that was allocated, effectively doubling the allocation for those years. That a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Ministerial Finance Association Officers Ontario, the Association of Municipalities Ontario, MP Michael Barrett, Federal Minister of Finance, Christie Freeland, and all municipalities in Leeds and Granville. So, comments on that, members? Right there. This comes from, from Quinte West. No comments? We'll call the question. Sorry, you have a
No, certainly, if council had any questions, we'd be certainly between Mark and I, but I think that the gist of it is the fact of CCBF, which was the federal gas tax, has been consistent over the last number of years. But due to inflation and everything that's gone up, I think the resolution says 29%. Since 2020, it hasn't been reflected on our contributions that we get under the federal gas tax. So that's what the resolution supporting tonight.
just for some more reference, I was at a treasurer's conference on Monday and I believe the average increase for gas tax was 2 or 3%, which is not in line with the inflationary costs that we're seeing. So people are trying to get a little extra money towards that.
I'll call the question. All in favor? Here. Thank you. Next, we have the Prescott Light Up the Night Parade, moved by Deputy Mayor Wine, seconded by Councilor Pate. Be resolved that council supports the 2024 Light Up the Night Santa Claus Parade with a donation of $200 to contribute to the continued success of the event. Any comments? Yeah,
I think that's what we donated last year. Yeah. Yeah, I assume we're gonna put, SUV back in again this year.
I don't know.
I'll go bigger than SUV. Get a truck.
By the truck.
SUV's too tiny for you guys.
So otherwise, we're gonna participate. in this.
Let's participate, yes.
Yes.
Okay, call the question, all in favor? Carried. Yeah. Next, we have Grenville Fish and Game Club land use request moved by Councilor Pape, second by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that council gives permission to the Grenville Fish and Game Club to use township property west of Prescott to light fireworks after their skating party. Any comments? Anybody? Yeah,
In the report, it said 70 acres.
that said, didn't say that. It said 77 areas.
West of the rink, yeah.
Okay. The way I read it, they, I'm saying, how that looks like.
Well, they meant the 77 acres, but they spelled it wrong. Areas, so, yes.
Yeah, just to add a little bit more context for council. So Lynn did come in and see me in regards to seeing if council would be willing to lease out the land, the 77 acres that we bought to set off some fireworks. Usually he has this event every year at the Grenville Fishing Games, but wanted to change it up this year to look at, maybe seeing if the rink was available for a couple hours for the kids to skate and stuff and the families, and then come over for some fireworks. So he doesn't know date yet or anything like that to see what's available, but at least wanted to see what council's interest was first. I did talk to our fire chief. He has no concerns. And also talked to our insurance provider, and they said as long as they provide the $5 million insurance liability, that it shouldn't be an issue because they're setting off residential fireworks, not commercial.
I thought they meant our rink right here.
No.
It doesn't say Prescott.
No,
rink.
exactly right.
Yeah, okay. Now we know who's gonna be nice.
I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, we have reports. And the first one is United Counties. Okay, we had a joint services meeting last week. And we had George Smitherman there, who at one time, I think, was the Minister of Health. And Sherry Fernier Hudson, who is local, of course, you tell by the names. They're involved in putting a program together to bring in health professionals, mostly doctors, I think, and nurses like that. So they have approached the counties. I believe they gave a cost of, it'd be a 3-year program at about $15,000 a month. So, anyway, that's what they're looking at. No decision was made, but they basically just gave a presentation on that. I've also seen their presentation with the St. Lawrence corridor. Same presentation, so anyway, they did that, and like I said, nothing was decided at counties, but I'm sure it's gonna come back up, so. Anyway, just to let you know. Then next we talked about, well, we grumbled about, OPP costs, because everybody got their bills, their statements. And, everything went, majority of the townships and towns all went up about, $200,000. I think, I don't have the exact mark to give us, say in a few minutes, but, I think ours was around $200,000 for 2025. So naturally, a lot of the mayors were disappointed in that, and nothing was really, other than saying, it wasn't really the place for it, because it's an individual matter, because they're individual contracts. So, maybe they'll lobby it or talk to the Solicitor General at Rome or something, but again, the cost went up. Mark, you may want to explain where some of the costs went up.
Yeah, so you are correct, Mayor. Ours is a little bit over $200,000 more per year, which is roughly a 21% increase year over year. And basically sets us up for a 2025 already at a 3% tax increase. without even starting budget at this time.
Yeah, so
So,
that's what most mayors were thinking about. We're starting with a 2% tax rate right away.
Yeah.
So,
and our understanding of it, it's all based on collective agreements that have been finally resolved over the last few years. And it's just, playing a catch up on updated salaries and all that stuff, which, certainly we have no control on.
I think the counties should investigate and do a study on a regional police force.
well, some people mentioned that, but I, for one, would go against it because there's so many costs, WSIB costs and everything else. And that's the reason the cost, the OPV costs are up. I'll tell you right now, because they may have, 50 officers in a detachment. 20 of them were off in WSIB. So that's where the money's going. Tell you that right away.
Yeah, and part of the overtime costs are calculated in there as well, so.
Well, and a 14.7% pay increase.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah. So some mayors think that, regional police force, but I, for one, I think you're gonna pay a lot more. That's,
well, you don't know until you look at it.
you can look at it, yeah, but I mean, it's, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I know when we talked to the detachment commander a while back, about a year ago, or a year and a half ago, he had people off on WSIB. And he was finding it hard to even man the area, so. Yeah, it's severe, plus these days, he said, that not too many people are interested in going into policing. I don't know what to do there, but anyway, we gotta pay it for next year, so. Committee of the whole meeting, we talked about the PPS. Anyway, they gave a quick introduction about that. That's the provincial planning statement. And I may said my words, same way I told my planner. I said, section 2 of the statement, I thought it was great, especially use words like promote, and encourage. Something that hasn't been done in the past, I feel. So anyway, I'm not saying hard. I need department. I got my message across, so. I think it's great, the planning, DPS, as long as certain individuals follow it. That's about it, counties. Soil conservation authorities, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, both, South Nation and Rio Valley, they're both working, getting ready for winter, so they're closing up their parks, they're setting stuff aside. They did do some pre-budget, and it's looking around a 3% increase. That's about it on that.
Recreation, anybody want to go first? Oh, Councillor Henry.
Through your worship, we had a meeting last Wednesday night. They've signed their lease with Maynard. Cameras have been installed at the rec building to monitor the vandalism and issues going on there. Pickleball courts will be closed as of this Saturday.
So move.
Merck had theirs October 8th with their AGM. They had about 20 people show up for their AGM, which was a very good turnout. They were very happy with it. A couple of things that we talked about was the disc golf. It's becoming very, very popular. They have gone from 11 holes to, they're going to extend it to 18 holes. They had 4 tournaments last year. For this year, they're hoping to have more. They say this is the best time of year to do the disc golf because there's no mosquitoes and black flies and all that, because it's all played, most of it's played within the trees at Merck. They have a Sunday fun day every day at 1. So if anybody is interested in playing disc golf, they say that's the day to go, because there's people there that will help teach you. And we have 2 gentlemen. And I know there's a couple more too, but Ryan and Gord, they came to the AGM and they spoke about this, and these people do a lot of work for this disc golf and it's come a long way. And, they say the Maitland site, Mark, is becoming very popular. So, I mean, I'd like to try it. It's not something I'm gonna try in the near future, but every Sunday at 1, if anybody wants to try it, they encourage it.
I know it's big in North Grenville too,
Mhm.
and I think they use part of the Limerick Forest, I'm not sure. But, anyway, it's going good.
And they do all the, like, they do the maintenance and everything
Yeah.
and from the trees and make sure that the baskets are good for the golf and stuff like that. They talked a little bit about it. It's like, well, I'd like to try it, but not right now. And we talked about the day, it's not the little acorn, Sarah does that. She's been doing it for about 1.5 years and it's every Thursday from 9:30 to 11:30. It's basically a place for parents and kids to come together for any of the non-school age kids because they come, she does coffee and, cookies and all that kind of stuff. Merck also signed their lease. They are having a Halloween party on October 27th from 2 to 4. And they're looking at doing their Christmas with Santa December 8th from 2 to 4. And I think that's all I have.
No, when I went by the disc golf, I noticed there's always 6 to 8 cars there.
Yeah.
They're playing it, so.
They say it's becoming very, very popular. And the two gentlemen, Ryan and Gord, they have a passion for it. They play it. And they do a lot of work.
Yeah.
They do a lot of work to keep it up to par.
Same with our dive site. I went by it. Sunday, I thought, but, there had to be 50 people there
Oh, yeah?
on the dive site, so. Okay, anybody else for recreation? Yeah.
Yeah, North Augusta, they had a meeting Monday night. I was down to Toronto for a conference, so I couldn't make it, but I did see on their site that they're having a Halloween party on the 27th.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, anything, okay, Economic Development Tourism Committee, Councilor Henry. Oh, library board, sorry.
I haven't had a meeting yet, but just a reminder that Thursday night at the library is the Dreams Endures, and it's at 7 o'clock, so.
Yes.
I'd like to see everybody there.
And Economic Development Tourism, Councilor Henry.
Through your worship, we had a meeting last Monday. Business of the year is coming up November 1st. You have to register by the end of this week. It's at work at 7:30. Registered guests as of the meeting was about 31. Nominations is up to 7 as of today. Also Annette and Adrian, I believe, went on the tour for First Impressions. They said it was well worth it, that it was a good tour. And it was in North Stormont, and we should get a report to council in November-ish.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
Okay. PAC Committee, Deputy Mayor.
Okay, at our PAC meeting, we had one severance we passed, and then we had a second meeting where we met virtually with the planners for our fiscal plan.
Okay. Police Services Board. I finished my training this weekend. And it's a challenge, I tell you. It's, especially when you have slow internet. So you're watching the dial go like that. Anyway, countless hours. I think originally they told us 3 days, so.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, yeah, it's quite in depth. The CAO has started his too. But every member has to do it. And I tell you, some of the subjects, I think I was going through for a policeman or a lawyer. Because, anyway, it's quite thorough, so, and of course, they test you after each part, so. It's getting to wonder if the $499.99 was worth it each year. So. But, that's just the start of it, and then we have to get criminal record checks too. So we haven't had our first meeting yet with the town of Prescott or the township of Elwisburg Cardinal. Because everybody has to be trained first, so everybody's gotta get online and get trained.
We anticipate probably a meeting in mid to late November as our
Yeah.
first meeting.
Okay, administration, CIO?
Thank you, Mayor. A few things. So, as was discussed about the Roma conference, so, I have heard back on everybody now, so that's great that everybody is wanting to go. Just, kind of plant a seed, the fact that council is all going, what kind of items we want to do as part of our delegation, if we want to do delegations. So if there's any ideas that come across your mind over the next week or so, send them to me so that we can start putting together a list and then we can start getting delegations ready, because I expect that they'll come out with the form probably in the next few weeks. And then we usually have 2 or 3 weeks to kind of turn them around and go from there. So reminder, just volunteer appreciation event is next Thursday, October 24th at 6 at Roebuck. Just a reminder. Just so council's aware, we just got communications on Friday late afternoon about the short-term rentals. So the fines that were brought forward by council were approved. So we'll move forward and starting to get all the communication and correspondence out there to the residents, especially the ones that are operating short-term rentals. And we'll look at hopefully getting everything in place so that starting January 1st, anybody that's not in compliance will be fined the $900 per day. And if they're operating without a license, they'll be fined the $900 a day as well too. So that's good news. A few things that we're working on just for council's information. So the Housing Enabling Core Services Fund is a funding program that is providing infrastructure dollars to municipalities who are looking at creating new infrastructure to promote housing. So we are working with Prescott right now on putting an application for some roadways into the new parcel that we bought in June, putting a roadway in there so that we can start looking at promoting it for housing, as well as we are also doing the Housing Enabling Water System Fund with Prescott, looking at extending water and sewer services along County Road 2 north up Morgan Lane to basically the railroad tracks. That will provide additional housing opportunities for down the road. Just for council, barbecue is tomorrow at the Public Works Garage at 12 for some food and some training, so stay tuned for that. As council will recall, in case you get any phone calls, final notices have gone out the last few weeks for our tax sale properties, so finance has done a great job in getting that up to date. And I believe it's December is the deadline, so we'll see where, if they reach out to you, please have them contact the office. You know, we're open to making some agreements if it makes sense, but certainly they've had enough time to do that. So, and I think Ann's also worked on the next batch.
I
That's
think
going
we
to
just
be
sent another 6.
another 6 going out as well too. So, the ultimate, of course, is we want to work with our residents to see if we can come up to some sort of agreement to pay their taxes, but sometimes it's just not feasible. Just, I know I sent out to council last week, but just for anybody else that's listening, the Young Professionals 40 under 40. We have 2 recipients that work for the township, Ann Shorey and Will Anderson. So certainly a great achievement for both of them. So congratulations. And then just last one, I was just chatting with John before our council meeting, looking at some dates for the food drive that we normally do. Proposing November 30th, which is the last Saturday of the month. And seeing if council is available or staff available to do the food drive like we did last year, which was successful, I think. So I'll be looking at doing the same thing again this year. Other than that, Mayor, that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Can you give us an update on the Blue Box program? You went to a seminar, you and the public works manager, so.
Yeah, sure. Now I'll let the public works manager update you on that.
Thank you, Your Worship. So we went to Toronto for a conference a couple weeks ago via train up at Toronto. So of course, it was the circular materials. So yes, it's still kind of foggy for us, but we are getting there. So we've learned that there's stream 1s and 2s, and I believe that we can get, less boxes now, less containers over their dump. So what did we learn? Well, what did we learn? I'm trying.
Here, I'll take over for him.
What did we learn?
It's just as confusing as it was.
Oh, it is.
So certainly, you know, they're still working out kinks. The biggest push right now is the promotion and education is going to be the biggest piece. On trying to train our residents about what's going to be accepted. There's good blue box and there's bad blue box, right? So it's going to be distinguishing to our residents as far as what you can put in a blue box and what you need to be putting in the garbage that's not recyclable. Because that will dictate how much money we get every month from the circular materials services. So they're still rolling this out. It's still new for everybody, and it was a pretty packed house when we went to Toronto there. And you know, of course, they've got all dedicated people within their departments, right? Like, yeah, the city of Toronto there. Well, they have a department of 30,000, right, for environmental services. So, you know, we're certainly learning from that, but we've been chatting a little bit internally and looking at different options of how we can, you know, January 1st, 2026 is that launch. You know, whether or not it makes sense to have some internal contracts, whether it's going to be a matter of having maybe bring in our waste and food box back in-house. And so we're looking at a bunch of different options that certainly we'll bring back to council for further discussions and further financial business cases. So but overall, it was a good session.
Yeah, I think our residents have got it down packed on what to throw, well, they're separate, you know, at least they do at this landfill.
Yeah.
Transfer station. But did they mention anything about styrofoam? No?
No, so it depends on what your ECA or your CA allows you to take too, right? So
Yeah.
it's basically on whatever your license allows you to take. That's why we don't take brush in Maynard. We only take brush in North Augusta, just because of whatever's your license. And if you open that license back up, it can really become a nightmare with the Ministry of
No,
Environment.
I just wanted to
Like that, so-
styrofoam, they don't know where to take it.
Right.
That's the problem.
Exactly right.
There's no money in not recycling, getting rid of it. So-
Right. So that's where it's going to be very important that, you know, we get information out as quickly as we can to our residents to start, you know, getting them to start thinking about Blue Box in 2025, so that when we come to 2026 and we take it all over, that, you know, they're trained to do it the right way and go from there. So. Good. The other thing, if I can add, Mayor, that was under the administration was the resolution for the South Granville District High School Leadership Conference donation. So the council did approve that last meeting, $1,000, but I was just looking for a resolution just so we have a record of that on file.
Okay. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wyman, seconded by Councillor Payne, whereas council passed a resolution October 10th, 2023 to donate $150 per student at South Granville District High School from Augusta Township attending the Ontario Leadership Conference at an upset limit of $1,000. Whereas 7 students from Augusta will be attending the 2024 conference. Be resolved that council directs staff to donate $1,000 to South Granville District High School for the Ontario Student Leadership 2024 conference. Does anyone remember having to comment? I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay. Okay, thank you. Administration and Finance. We have moved by Councillor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wyman, to be resolved that approves the working alone policy as presented under report 2024-0118. Does anybody have any comments, questions on that? Now, I assume this is a new policy, CAO?
That's correct.
Yeah, it's one we should have had, but didn't.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, and it's, I know my past, life, this came up 2 or 3 times, you know, for example, like, cleaning people come in the weekend, you know, they're here by themselves, you know. Is that legal? Yes, it is, but it just depends on where they work, the risk about, you know, the risk involved, and mostly up to the department heads. They're doing, you know, they've got to evaluate it, decide what's what, so.
Yeah, and certainly you're absolutely right, Mayor, is that, you know, there is some positions that unfortunately do require you to work alone, but having those safety measures in place that at least somebody can check in every hour to make sure, or there's a panic button in case, anything happens. But, all of our facilities, except for, the township office right now is currently kind of locked. So only people can be buzzed in, and as part of our renovations, we are looking at putting that security door in place so that people, get that protection for staff, that if anything does happen, that we're kind of protected. So a lot of it's in this policy is really common sense, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah, just a question for, John, will this impact your department?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
All of us work alone in the winter for sure, and we do have two-way radios in the truck and phones readily available, so yes. So especially when my guys go into Limerick Forest, where there's, prime example, my snowplow is going into Limerick Forest before he goes in off, when he crosses Warwick County Road 21. I'm going into Limerick Forest, we know it's about 40-45 minutes for a round. We should know in about 45 minutes, that truck driver's calling me back saying, I'm leaving Limerick Forest, and if not, I do have on my phone, I can tell you where all my trucks are. If that truck hasn't moved in 20 minutes, I better get my buddy up there to see what's going on if he's not replying back. Yes, but yeah, a lot of us work by ourselves, especially in winter. Yes.
comments, questions? Yes,
just one other comment. With renovations to the office here, we went to North Stormont. You have to go through a glass door, it's locked, but the back door was open when we walked right in.
Well, that won't happen here, Debbie.
okay, call the question, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Next report, 2024-119 cell phone policy, moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Pate. Be resolved, the council approves the cell phone policy as presented under report 2024-119. Now, we must have had a policy on this before, have we not? My God, no, nothing at all?
Yep.
All right, any comments, questions? All right, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carry. Yep. Next, report 2024-130 audit management letter. And I have, sorry. Yeah, for audit management letter. Moved by Councillor Pape, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans, be resolved the council received the information and management's response to the auditor's management letter recommendations from 2023. Members have any questions? I like the, I would say I like the, I know we did the same thing last year, but it's easy for me to keep the recommendations and the management responses and everything. Because I'll look at that and compare it with last year, sort of thing. So, no, I was very happy with the audit this year. So, anyway, let's keep up the good work. So thank you very much, everybody involved.
Your
Yes.
worship, we're still waiting for finalized statements as well, and we'll be bringing those back to council, hopefully before the end of the month.
Okay, good. All righty, thank you very much. Okay, next is the operations report 2024-098 PA day camps. And moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Pate, be resolved that council approves the transfer of funds from the recreation reserve to an upset limit of $10,370.98 to fund the proposed PA and winter break day camp for the year 2024. The members remember from last meeting, we deferred this because we wanted more information. And I don't know if you asked the questions, but the CAO can give us the answers, but unless you got some questions.
I'll pass it over to Kathleen. If certainly there's any questions that Kathleen or I can answer, we certainly will do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, ask questions, but I have to ask why we deferred it. Any questions?
I mean, I don't really have any questions for me. The $10,000, I think is a lot of money for 3 months. For spots for possibly 10 kids. It's not that I'm against this. For me, again, I don't think this is the right time. I think we need to focus on our summer camp. We had 3 weeks of full camp. See if we can focus on maybe getting it as a full camp. Again, just for me, I just find that, I think this is the wrong time for this.
Any comments? Councilor Henry, you too, or wanted to defer it, I think, last time?
To your worship, I did express what more information last meeting. They've put it all in here.
So I'm just, one thing I just wanted to bring to your attention was, sorry. Trying to call up here. Page 20. So in addition to the RECE will provide support to the CAO in drafting media releases and other communication directives such as budget policies, et cetera, and other initiatives for other departments. Does everybody understand that too? You want to say a few words?
No, so certainly just to through you, Mayor, to Councillor Bowman, certainly, bring up some valid points and, the plan is to, based on the survey results, was to look at, some of the comments we got back was to see about offering PD days and all that kind of stuff. And certainly, I recognize the fact of what we're bringing in revenue versus the expenses is different. The fact that we can only have 10 people is that 10-to-1 ratio. And certainly if council wanted to add more spots, well, of course, the expense would then increase more, right? But, certainly I think Kathleen's, done the job as far as putting it, referencing the master plan, which certainly does need some work on. And I don't disagree with you, is seeing that summer camp expand and getting full every year is certainly a goal I think that Kathleen wants to see next year, but certainly I echo your comments as well, because it is a lot of money for the short period of time, but certainly, as I said before, sometimes we need to spend money to look at, to see there's an interest, and if, to me, as if we go through this, the next 3 months and the interest is not there, then at least we can say, we tried. Yes, it cost us 10,000, but I think the investment is low risk from my perspective, but certainly it's up to council how you want to proceed.
Yeah.
Hi, Your Worship, and CAO. I hear what Michelle's saying, but, some of the things that I picked up on this is also what you kind of highlighted was the expertise on current and new social media platforms, other communication materials. I mean, we've already seen, a new Instagram pop up that's been quite active. I know, Mayor, you said right from the get-go in the last couple of years, we have to do better at marketing ourselves.
Yeah.
And we've been seeing that, and she clearly has the expertise in that. So I think we need to kind of look a little bit more outside of the box, that this is not just limited to day camps. I mean, it's taking pressure off of Shannon as well, because if she's gonna be able to help with drafting press releases, possibly responding to media inquiries, that kind of stuff, to free up Shannon for other things. So I think it's kind of, I look at it more of a bit of an opportunity to try something, maybe trying a communications person to see if that would benefit us and see what we can do with that, as well as then offering these camps through the winter, which was a demand, which was something that came up in the feedback from the residents and from the surrounding community. So to me, I think it's a worthwhile investment, and we see how it goes and kind of go from there next year.
Okay, Councillor, Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, just, one question, so it says it's coming out of reserves. Is there lots of money in that reserve fund, or is that something that in our next budget we have to put back in?
So, yeah, through you, Mayor. So right now, there's only about $21,000 in the reserve. So, certainly something that Mark and I have been discussing is, as we are depleting our reserve funds, and we've been depleting them over the last, number of years, is that we want to start getting into a habit of every year is putting in money so that we're increasing our reserves. Mark is working on a reserve fund policy right now, which will speak to that. And, we'll certainly bring some suggestions back at budget, but, certainly it'd be nice to have lots of money in all of our reserves and reserve funds, but at this time, we recognize the fact that we've got, we're looking at a 3% OPP increase, right? So we recognize that there's priorities that take precedent over others, and to me, ensuring we have the right resources and the staffing, to me, is more important than putting money into a bank for a rainy day.
Anyone else? Yes, Kathleen?
Yes, your worship, just to address Michelle's concerns, and I certainly understand where you're coming from, Councillor Bowman. I just would like to say that last year for the summer day camp, we got a very late start. And that did impact the numbers that we had last summer. Even if we have a full capacity next year, and it's important that this is understood, is the fact that we will still not make money, even if we have full capacity. So it's a venture that meets the need with our residents, but it is not a self-sustaining venture at this time. I'd also like to address the fact with the social media. Currently, we're getting 3.3 thousand views on our Instagram, which is more than this township has ever received. So it will only get higher from here on moving forward. We're not just on Instagram, we're on Twitter, which is getting recognized too. So the numbers are there. We are getting messages out. And at the same time, we're looking at the branding of the township and keeping that consistent, which is very important.
Any other comments? No, all good comments. Like I said, I think the program last summer was successful. And, yeah, we're not here to make money in the program. I'm just trying to remember, there was non-township families in that. Do we charge them the same or do they charge more?
Charge the same. Charge the same. The majority of the children that attended the day camp were from Augusta Township first and Prescott second.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I believe about 75% was
Yes.
from the South Granville area. You had the odd few from like Brockville and Athens and Mallorytown, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the bulk were from this area.
Yeah, I hate starting to put up walls.
No, I know.
It leads to other things. Councilor, you said?
Through your worship, maybe just questioning Prescott to see if their prices are the same too, so that we're offering equal services to both, because I think in previous years it wasn't that way, but.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, my understanding is they don't do
They
day camps.
So actually, there is no one in the area, in our area, that provides that service. And if I look outside the area, we did look at other areas that did provide it, and we are not that high. You're looking at $300 a week per child.
Well, Laurie, I know you're being helpful, but please don't speak up because it's for the members, right? Thank you.
The other thing I'll just add to Kathleen's point is, finding that right balance as far as what the right price is we want to make it affordable for people. We can certainly increase it to $300 or $400, but you're going to see your numbers decline. And I think I said at the last meeting is, the council needs to have an understanding is, what are they comfortable as far as losing when it comes to recreation services, right? As I said, the arenas and stuff throughout Ontario do not make a profit, but it's a service that they want to provide to hopefully retain and recruit new families and stuff coming in. But that's certainly, something that will certainly have some more conversation at budget time. And then you can see those true numbers of what that number looks like. And if council's not fine with it, then we can always look at other ways to increase revenues or do whatever. So.
Any other questions? Okay, Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Here, thank you. Next we have, sale of surplus vehicle, and thank you for the picture. Moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry. Be resolved that council declares truck three and the snowplow attachment as surplus equipment and authorizes the acting public works manager to sell the truck in as is condition on Kijiji. Well, I think everybody read the report there. It's 15 years old. So, John, do you have anything to say?
No, it's a 2009 3/4 ton that's past its service life for us. And we have replaced it, of course, this year with a couple of new trucks. And it's just sitting in the backyard, ready to go.
Any comments, questions? Okay, no.
Well, I think we had the two options, Kijiji or, and I think Kijiji is a better way to go.
I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Planning and building, CBO report. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman. Be resolved that council received the building department activity report for July, August, September 2024 for information. Does anybody have any comments, questions? Okay, I got one. Fortunately, I'm not relying on everybody else's memory. When I look at comparing 2023 to 2024, there's such a big difference. Do you remember what took place? Like what? Why is such a big difference in bottom line?
Or is it number?
It's the dollar, it's the, it looks like it's the cost of the project, so it could be,
What is the cost of the project?
Carlton Mushrooms.
Yeah, but that time we weren't charging that much for,
But still, it's the value of the project though,
that's the value.
value of it. So what they basically assess that project being, even though they don't pay it in the permit fee, it's the assessed value. So that's why it's a difference of like 31 million versus 5.3.
Yeah.
It's probably the Carlton Mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Call the question, all in favor? Okay, you. Next, we have severance, report 2024-115. And moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry. Be resolved the council recommends the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville consent granting authority that consent application B 1110-24 be approved, subject to 7 conditions of approval as detailed staff report 2024-115. And, yeah, it's on Branch Road and, I was hoping the owner would be here tonight because I know him, but he's not here. So anyway, Melinda, do you want to say anything about it?
No, your worship, the planning advisory committee was supportive of the application. The planning advisory did offer some comments with respect to some flooding in artesian wells in the area. So we've just added that as a note, just for the future owner to be mindful of that when they construct a dwelling.
You've given us 2 options there, so whatever option you usually take with these, so. To get them through, I think it's probably the first one, eh? See, you're coming in based on, PAC's recommendations with count conditions as written, yeah. Okay, I'll call the question, all in favor? Okay. Good job getting that through, I don't have to have a conversation with him. No, he's a good friend, he used to work for me, actually. Next one is, where am I? It's, Protective Services, report 2024-117, firefighters wage increase proposal. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowen, be resolved that council accept wage increase for all classes of firefighters by 32 cents to match the minimum wage increase for a 4th class firefighter and maintain the separation of wages between the classes. So, comments, members? Yes, Debbie, member?
Yeah, I was under the understanding our firefighters are getting $20 an hour at a minimum. So I didn't know we were only paying minimum wage. I think that's terrible. I would say we should bump it up by $1. And that would still bring us in less than, around the 10,000 mark. If the 32 cents brings us up to 3,100. So, and because I think our firefighters are more important than spending 200,000 on police. They're there first.
Yes, just Mayor,
I know,
fire chief
I
is,
know,
okay,
You
perfect.
put up your.
No, I was just gonna
Oh,
say,
the
just,
chief
yeah,
moment?
yep.
I knew you were there. He stuck up his hands.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
All right, through your worship, thank you, Deputy Mayor Winans. We would be for that. This policy, the wages and the classes were all approved by council. I don't have the year, but were approved by council approximately 3 or 4 years ago to keep separation in between. The wages are based off of a survey we did at that time to be basically in the middle of Leeds and Grenville fire departments, not at the top, not at the bottom, but be average. And council at the time approved that, and they also approved the way we increase our wages, which didn't include minimum wage increases, but they did include that they would be linked to our other staff and whatever percentage of increases they received, the fire department firefighters would receive as well. And we've continued to do that onwards. If it's council's wish for us to investigate some different wages to maintain, to increase the wages and to maintain a separation in between those classes, I'd be more than willing to investigate that. Our classes currently are based on training and certifications and experience, and they can increase classes based on their training and experience.
Yeah, Chief Bowman, I maintain we keep the separation between classes, but just everybody should be bumped up $1.
Again, through your worship, I would support that, but I'd also like to, one of the things on my to-do list for the new year is to reevaluate review our establishing and regulating bylaw, which has our wages in there. But I would support that, and I don't have any issues with the $1 increase.
Yeah, and I remember when we did this too, we specifically wanted to be fair to our firefighters, and they shouldn't be ahead of other firefighters, so they should be in the middle. Because with that, if you put them at the top, automatically, you've got other departments trying to do the same thing, so you gotta watch, yes, they may deserve it, same as policemen, but, to me, it's gotta be in parity with everybody else. CAO?
You can correct me if I'm wrong, Fire Chief. Would it make sense for tonight's resolution is that if council's approval of what's presented tonight, you approve that, and then what Rob can do is, as part of his budget, he can bring back a comparison of where we are, and if council then wants to make the move as of effective January 1st, we can do it retroactive, we can do it whatever. Would that be maybe better? You okay with that, Rob?
Through your worship, absolutely. I have no problems. I support and think our firefighters are the best in Leeds and Grenville in Ontario, and I want to make sure their remuneration reflects that. But I also understand we need to be fair. But I have no problems with that whatsoever, and I can do some research and, like I said, maybe attach it to our review of our establishing and regulating bylaw.
Okay, any other questions? Yeah, and I can't remember if this council did it, last council. I'm trying to remember, is anybody's council? It's not the last. Last one, because we went through it. By firefighters' wages going up, how does that affect any calls on the 401 for rebates? Or do you just get a straight dollar figure?
Thank you, your worship. For fire calls on the 401, when we get reimbursed from that, so the way that works is when we get a call, we put a claim into the government, and it is we are given money back for responding, and I don't know the exact number, but it's I believe in the neighborhood of Anyway, I don't even want to guess. It's a few $100s an hour per vehicle, and the insurance companies of the vehicles are charged, and then that's how the money gets back. As far as firefighters, what we claim, it doesn't matter what our firefighters make, what the gas is, or anything like that. That is simply an MTO rate, but I will attest that they do update that yearly, and it normally increases yearly.
Okay, thank you. I think you answered my question. That's per vehicle, not person.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe it's about 475. It was before, Rob, but I could be wrong. Could be gone up maybe.
If I may, your worship, it's actually not per vehicle, it's just per hour. So we get paid, it's in the neighborhood of $500, I believe, per vehicle per hour on the 401. I can get the actual numbers for council, but it's per vehicle, per fire department vehicle per hour, but they really only give us about 2 or 3 vehicles. After that, we have to have a very, very good reason to claim any more than 2 or 3 vehicles.
Okay, all right, good, thank you. Any other comments, questions? Okay, I'll call a question, all in favor?
Yeah, which one are we voting on, the 32 across the board?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yes, and we'll bring a further report back to council for 2025.
Next, where am I? Okay, notice of motions. We have the yeah, no, I'm just. Okay, so we have a notice of motion that was in your package. It's a mental health and addictions crisis resolution. And, you all should have read it. Any questions on that? Yes, Councilor Page.
So, your worship, it may be deja vu all over again for those of us that were here last time. So this is basically the motion that we passed 2 weeks ago, but, when we kind of changed it up, it didn't make sense anymore. So when we sent it out when Annette sent it out, I guess the following day, we got a response back from the, chief of staff for the associate minister of health, basically saying, what now? So Annette and I sat down, earlier this week or last week and rewrote it so that now it actually makes more sense as to what we're trying to say. But this is an issue, if those of you had a chance to read the information package from this week, again, there was another municipality in there that was talking about this same issue and just trying to spread the same message, right? So we're just trying to get the word out that, clearly there's a serious crisis in Ontario right now that's not getting any better. And I know a lot of municipalities, as we talked about a few weeks ago, are really focusing on the involuntary, which I'm not for. And I know that the council decided we weren't either. For me, it's more so ensuring that those who want services can get it and that it's cost effective. So it's just calling on the government. Also, what we did learn in the conversation with the chief of staff was that the Mental Health Act in Ontario currently does not recognize addiction as a mental health issue. And so they suggested that we put in a call to the province to also recognize, to update the Mental Health Act, which is about 10 years out of date, to update that to recognize addiction as well. So that's why we're back again.
Okay, anybody else? I read this and I did some research on it too. I have a problem with actually the 5th paragraph where it says, now therefore be resolved, the Council of the Township of Augusta urges the province to revise the Mental Health Act to recognize addiction as a disease. I don't agree with that. Because right now the Mental Health Act states there's 3 major components: cognitive, emotional, and behavioral. And that's why they always say mental health and addictions. Well, addictions is not part of the Mental Health Act. And it's way above my pay grade, because what happens in the Mental Health Act, maybe it's too much of the OPP, reading I'm doing, but it affects all sorts of laws and everything else. And it just blooms out like that. And I tried reading the Mental Health Act today and I couldn't believe where it went. So by you may think it's simple just to add that. It's not simple.
So it would require, some work, but
Yeah.
this was based on about an hour and a half.
But to me-
With the chief of staff.
But to me, that should be the policy, well, way above policymakers and lawmakers should be deciding that. And I can't support that. My own personal, I can't support it right now.
You can revise it if you wanna take that paragraph out,
That,
if you be.
the rest of it seemed all right, I agree, we need more funding for the, addictions. And, the government's gotta step up and do that, but I don't feel it should be part of mental health. And, just the way Mental Health Act is basically explains now. And it kind of gets back to what, when we do these, and I know we don't do them that often, but we really gotta research it and see what's the effect. Not just because some other community put it in, so. Anyway, I welcome anybody to read the Mental Health Act, and it certainly does not mention addictions in there. Because it's separate, they treat it separate. That's my.
And initially it wasn't, but until it was, like I said, it was a call that I had 2 weeks ago with the actual chief of staff of the associate minister that said, and she's a psychiatrist, so.
Yeah.
She's the one that suggested that we put that wording in there. So that's why Annette and I put it in there. If you're more current.
But you probably got 50 other psychiatrists and lawmakers and I saying, don't believe it.
But I mean, like I said, I think the motion would still make sense if council's more comfortable that we take that section out. We changed it last time and it kind of took away all sense to it, but I think if we were to take that section out, I believe that the motion would still work.
Yeah, because I believe in everything else, the challenges from my council review, mental health addiction services. More mental health and addiction services.
Right.
To ensure that individuals with health addictions issue with current carrier, you resolve, so, but it's that para 5, I don't know where council wants to go, but I'm just one vote. I'm gonna vote against it, but
Well, why don't you just make an amendment?
I don't know, I just trying to hear from everybody else.
Make an amendment.
Yeah, I'm good with it amended.
And we can vote on it as amended.
All right, so somebody, you wanna make, one of you wanna make the amendment? Councilor Payne?
I'll make the amendment. So, to remove the paragraph that begins with now therefore be it resolved.
You still have to put in those 5 words, don't you? You still have to put those in to start. So that will go down here.
Or I guess, we changed the now therefore be it resolved to the replace
Or
furthermore.
you say removing paragraph 5.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's the start of now therefore be it resolved.
Yeah, so we just put
Gotta
that
add
where
that
it
to
says
the next-
furthermore.
Yeah, now therefore be it resolved that council requests the province to invest in providing more mental health addiction services to ensure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
I gotta get the clerk to agree, so
I'm going to take out this paragraph.
I wanna take a, yes.
Yeah, so where you're saying that this needs to go up there?
I'm asking you.
No, but that's what I'm asking, what are you asking? And you're saying that this needs to go up there?
No,
What he's saying is that.
you need this in there.
So this now therefore, so further, this is gonna go,
Furthermore, be gone.
and then this is gonna replace that.
And a little more neatly, but okay. I guess I'm retyping this.
And
You don't have a copy of it?
mental health.
You sent it
and
to me.
Addiction services.
So if. Yes, I would have done, would have just used the same sheet, but I'll type it over because. It looks a little messy now, but if you want to get. Counselor Pape and Counselor Henry to initial this change. And then you can pass it as that.
Okay,
Then have you sent it to me as a Word document, I think you should edit the Word document, send it to you.
Yeah, we'll have it. That,
Save you the work.
yeah.
Yeah, just initial.
so I'll call the question to accept this report as amended. The way it reads now, it's just so everybody knows, now therefore be resolved. Council requests the province to invest in providing more mental health and addiction services to ensure that individuals with severe mental health and addictions issues in Ontario have access to secure care when needed.
Yeah.
Everybody agree with that? Yeah. Okay, call the question, all in favor? There. Homework. The bylaws, moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry, be resolved the bylaw number 3737-2024, being a bylaw to authorize the Corporation Township of Augusta enter an agreement with the Maitland Educational and Recreation Center Association, be read a first time, second time, third time, be enacted as read. And these are the agreements that they've given us in our package. So we'll do Maitland first. So is any comments, questions on
Murph was not hesitant at all to sign the lease, and they felt it was a win situation.
that? Good,
They were very happy with it.
good. Kathleen, anything to add? No. Good. I'll call the question, all in favor? Okay. Good. Next one we have is moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman, be resolved bylaw number 3738-2024, being a bylaw to authorize the Corporation Township of Augusta enter an agreement with the Maynard Educational Recreation Center Association, be read a first time, second time, third time, be enacted as read. And the same thing there, right at the lease agreement there. Is there any questions, comments on that? Anyone? No, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried. Good work on that, Kathleen and Shannon, because I know I went back 2 or 3 times, so, but long time, we finally started to get stuff the way it's supposed to be, so. Called housekeeping, isn't it? Yeah, housekeeping. Okay, announcements, any announcements? Yes, Deputy Mayor Winans.
Okay, this Saturday at the Maitland Fire Station, it's gonna be the Fall Festival, and, they're gonna have, come out and tour the station, see the fire trucks, they're gonna meet Sparky, they'll have a fire truck bounty and fire prevention movie, and a barbecue, $10 for adults and $5 for under 15.
Yeah, Councillor Fate.
We just got notified today, the South Granville Chamber is hosting a social as part of Small Business Week. Next Tuesday, I believe. I think it's the. What? No, sorry, the 21st, so Monday. From 6 until 8. They're going to be announcing a new event that they've got slated coming in May 2025, that they're gonna be announcing, so major hype. Everybody's on, so it'll be announced at 6:30, so, and Braintree is gonna be providing food and drink. And, Shannon, if we plan on, attending, we need to let them know if we wanna bring a banner or anything, the space is limited. So it's at the Windmill Brewery on Monday evening, so anybody wants to come out.
Okay, also, local government week is October 20th to 26th. Didn't we just have one of those in the fall spring? Local government week?
No, it's usually every.
How many weeks you guys get?
Yeah, usually it's usually in October. We tried last year to try and get something with the schools, but it didn't work out and.
Okay, anybody else for announcements? Yes,
I guess I've got one more. I'm wearing pink today and next week. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, in October. So it's, thankfully, that one has not touched my family, but I know many families that it has. And, so actually, it's one of those things that, you know, it's important to raise awareness for.
yeah, you're absolutely right. It's touched my family, so. So, you know, we're lucky, so. Anyway, it's, thank you very much for that. And I just want to mention that, men can get breast cancer. I don't know if people knew that or not. And, I don't get into details, but, yeah, so. Okay, announcement here is, last year, if you remember, I participated in the mayor's, fire engine pull, the YMCA fire truck pull. This year, they're doing the same this Saturday. And they've only got about 4 mayors so far. I will not be attending, because I told them my exercises do not include pulling a fire. So, Deputy Mayor, do you want to attend, or they give everybody that participates gets a T-shirt you'll never wear in public again. Mine's sitting in the closet. And it's $100 to join.
What time is it? Because, the fire hall, the barbecue at the fire hall.
There's a 10 a.m. Saturday. Registration opens at 9.
In Brockville?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
So you wanna take this phone number down or, 613-498-8522. And I'll give you Matt Ren's, the Mayor Ren's, email, because he'd like to know tomorrow. themayor@brockville.com. mayor@brockville.com.
See if you can do better than the mayor did last year.
Is there any other counselor want to join the deputy mayor?
Come on, Tanya. I heard Tanya saying yes.
Yeah.
I would if I was not away.
Okay. So, yeah, so anyway, I'll leave that with you and, hopefully it go good, so. We had a full turnout of mayors last time, but there's too many things going on for one, so. And we just talked about the next few Saturdays, our weekends being, gone, so. Okay, all the announcements? Okay, any questions on the agenda from the press? Veronica?
Just 2 things
Yeah.
quickly. The volunteer appreciation night you mentioned
Yeah.
is 24th
And that's a robot?
at Roebuck?
Yeah.
And is that all township volunteers or?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And the fire hall event you just mentioned, that's this Saturday at what time?
At, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay, thank you.
It's in the Maitland one or the?
The Maitland, yeah.
At Maitland, right.
1 to 3.
1 to 3. Oh, got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming. Any questions on the agenda for items for the public? Lori, anything? No?
I have one
Yeah.
question, maybe a silly question. I know the Maynard Rec Hall is not in use right now, so why would they have to sign a lease? Why wouldn't they wait until the building's up and going again and then sign the lease?
Yeah, I have an answer for that, but I'll let the CA or Kathleen answer first.
Basically, what it's for, Lori, is it ties us together. They're an incorporation with the township, so part of that is the lease ties them into working with their agendas, with their minutes, with how they run their meetings, so that we work in collaboration together. It really is not just for the building, but in the future it will be, but it's really to work with them as a committee.
And all the lease, each lease is the same lease for
Each
every,
lease is the same except for all the incorporations have their lease, and the 2 committees of council will have their own leases.
2 committee of council.
We have Donville and we have North Augusta,
Oh, because they're, the ones that are incorporated, their lease,
all the
we all
same,
have the same
all the
lease.
same. And you'll be presented with yours on November 6th.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay,
Keep in mind that, right?
all right, good. All right, next, we have, Councillor Bowman, moved by Councillor Bowman, second by Councillor Henry. Be resolved, the council moved to a closed meeting at let's say 7:30 PM. Yeah, we're gonna go into a closed meeting at 7:30. Yeah, for the municipal act. If we had to discuss employee negotiations and staffing. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. You got 10 minutes. Carried. Anything else, Dorothy?
Oh, continue, sit down.
Shocking.
Moved by Counselor Bowman, seconded by Counselor Henry, be resolved that council met in closed session to discuss employee negotiation. So we provided instruction to staff. Correct? All in favor? Carried. Yep. Moved by Counselor Henry, seconded by Counselor Bowen, be resolved that bylaw number 3739-2024 confirm the proceedings of council of the Township of Augusta at a meeting held on October 15, 2024, be read first time, second time, and third time, and be enacted as read. All in favor? Carried. Last one. Moved by Counselor Bowman, seconded by Counselor Henry. Be resolved that this council do now adjourn the PM until October 28, 2024 at 6 PM or the call of the mayor subject from need. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, everybody.
See everybody Thursday.
That's at 7.